watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me. They watching me, they watching me, they watching me.
Hey, it's your boy King coming to y'all with more content. I'm here with my special guest.
Peace and love. This is President Blyden, the Buffalo UNIA-ACL Division 433.
And we are here basically just to have a discussion, man. Let's talk about some things that really touch our souls, and maybe we can touch y'all at the same time. So, we here. How you doing?
I am well, brethren. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm just taking my time dealing with the, regular stress of entrepreneurship, but I'm here. I'm still standing.
Yes, sir.
So I hear about this government we got going on.
Yes, sir. That's what we like to hear.
Let's do it.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to, extend my thanks to you to allow me this platform. We appreciate being asked on here. So thank you very much, Bridget.
I appreciate it.
And to your viewers, first, I'd like to greet you all in the words of peace, shalom, assalamu alaikum, hotep, alafia, and as always, race first.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I love it, and I'm not gonna lie. A lot of things that's going on, like we both know, me and you, we both know. Definitely, it's a lot of fakers going around.
Yes,
but
sir.
I've been watching you guys for a long time, and I've actually became family with you guys.
Yes,
so, with that being said, it's like, what message can we actually bring to the people that will be a unifying moment that will bring us together better than what we see here out today?
Well, there's something to be said about not reinventing the wheel, and if it's not broke, don't fix it. And when you say what message will we give out today, it is the same message that we would support that was given out 100 years ago, which is unification is a must, and that is the only solution for our people. And I believe that if we continue to push that imagery, that message of us coming together as a people to build and to do for ourselves first,
right,
and then go out into the world to be able to deal with the world on an even platform, that would alleviate basically all of our problems as a people.
I believe in that cold-heartedly because, I deal with a lot of people, and, I've ran across a lot of friends. I ran across a lot of fake friends and even enemies who I didn't know was enemies. But they all have the same message when it comes to being unified. That if you don't join a faction, they're not gonna be part of your growth.
Exactly.
And the sad part about it is every time we look at each other in that sense, we are putting blockades against each other. Like, that's why I decided to do this coalition podcast, because it represents a coalition of different minds, different people, to bring them together, because without unity, regardless of what we think about each other, regarding religion or faction or anything like that, without unity, we can't even implement those thoughts, period.
Exactly.
So even if we say, you could be a Moor, you could be a Muslim, you could be a Ashkenazi, which was whatever. You could be whatever race, all right? But without an understanding of respect and self-unification with each other as a people, your words don't mean anything. So with that being said, I remember in the past, right? And excuse me, guys, we doing this live, and we're actually outside amongst our people. So
in the field,
so we out here. So excuse the noises if you hear it. But let me carry on. I remember when I first met you guys, y'all was doing the teachings at the library, and y'all were talking about. I came up to you guys and I said that I was talking about a grocery store.
Okay.
So, in that sense, do you think that having grocery stores and corner stores and, real estate property and things like that, do you think that would help the black community if we had more control over those things in our communities versus always having, these slumlord issues. We having these housing issues where they do not give us, property and things like that. Do you think that if we build our own, we will rid ourselves from those type of scrutinies or lack of, resources?
Well, you started off by saying that a lot of people speak about unity,
Right.
different factions, etc. So to that point, I would like to say that the UNIA-ACL, 100 years ago, when it was started, some of its main constituency were represented from the Islam community, as represented by Dusay Ali Muhammad, the Muslim scholar from Europe. Eliza Cadet was a Haitian voodoo priest who was a high-ranking UNIA member.
Right.
Garvey himself grew up Catholic, and there was many black Catholics. Here in Buffalo specifically, we had a huge black Catholic contingency. The majority of the Garveyites here in America were black Christians. Leonard P. Howe, the man who was accredited to be in the very first Rasta, was a Garveyite. And our national anthem, Ethiopia, Land of the Fathers, was written by Rabbi Josiah Ford, who was part of the beginning of what we see now as the Hebrew Israelite movement.
Right.
Part of that beginning, he was part of the structure. Him and Rabbi Matthews and I can't think of the other name right now. And they started the Commandment Keepers and things like that.
Right.
The One West thing that you see the Hebrew Israelites going out.
Okay.
All of those philosophies were under one roof in the Liberty Hall in the UNIA-ACL. So when people use those excuses as far as I'm this, I'm that, there's no room for that.
Right.
I have a quote that's becoming a little bit famous right now. It's, if you can find any reason not to unify with your people, you are the problem.
Right.
So if you can find a reason, like,
Right.
I can't unify with him because I'm a Moor and I had a person tell me one time they could not work with a Muslim because they were Lutheran. That, to me, that's nonsense. I mean, and it's a purposeful thing at a certain point.
Right.
To where you realize that, we go around and we say it takes a village to raise a child and all this other thing, but we refuse to do the work to build a village. And every village, any city even, has different factions, if you will, different belief systems, different ideologies, and different ways of life,
Right.
different walks of life. You know what I'm saying? And we can have that same thing within our own African black communities. Now, as far as would a grocery store, for example, be a positive step in the right direction for us? And of course, the answer is of course. And I would even posit that our own everything would be the solution to our problems as a people. When we look at the grocery store situation, we have to choose from food that was chosen for us.
Right.
From a group of people who haven't decided whether or not they want to care about our health or not. When we talk about where the food was grown, it wasn't grown on an African-run farm or a black-run farm or whatever word you want to go with to try and separate yourself from us further. Right. So it must be controlled by us from the top to the bottom. That FUBU thing, for us, by us.
Right.
We need to embody that. And when people hear us say race first all the time, that's what we mean.
And you know it's funny. I'm gonna jump in with that because I find it crazy that when black people of color, bronze of all shades, right? When we say race first, the whole world lose their mind. They lose their mind like as if it's about to happen. Whatever they have in the back of their head that black people are gonna do to them, it's been planted already. So anytime you see any uplifting of black communities, you always see a faction that goes against that. And I'm gonna be honest, I know trying to get everything to be our own, at least what we deal with as far as a people, and then we branch out to others as we do trade and as we do politics and stuff like that. Other countries reach out to other ethnic groups despite their dislike for each other. So I feel like even if we get our own, we're gonna have those factions that will try their best to dismantle us because of the ability that black people have on economics. Like they got us fooled. You know what I'm saying? They got us thinking that we are the poorest, we are the worst, we are the savages of the group of the race class. When as soon as you give the righteous mind something to grow off of, we always prosper. And we always prosper until someone steps in to take us down. And that could be your brother, that could be your sister, that could be somebody that look just like you. But in all reality, that's how the game is played. So when I look at, you know, the race first thought, you know, it kind of triggers me, because it's like they fear us more than they fear who they consider God. And I say that real distinctly because imagine this. If we went through if we stuck to one religion, right? And we said, okay, let's stick to Christianity and stick to all the things that God portrayed in that Bible. We ourselves would literally, we destroy ourselves with those. You know what I'm saying? We literally do. Because we forget that a lot of the things that are taught to us were taught to us by us. Like,
that's deep.
Think about it.
That's
right.
deep.
Because you got to think about it. Like, if I'm not saying that, you know, slavery didn't count. I'm not saying that the destruction of the black family didn't count. I'm saying when you look at the Bible to me is more like a journal of notes and experiences, right? And within those notes and experiences, there's our trigger words that people took and they worship. Prime example, thou shalt not kill. At any given point, right? Would you want somebody to kill your family member?
No, sir.
So why would you do it? Common sense. It has nothing to do with religion.
Agreed.
So, one more. What was it? Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife?
Yes.
If anybody stepped into your home and took over your bed, common sense would be that rage would have sued you and things would happen as far as consequences.
Right.
So when you say, oh, you're going to be punished, or God is going to get you, or karma's going to get you because you slept with this man's wife, all they're taking superstition and taking common sense out of it. Because basically you're saying that some entity is going to do something to me. Not the person I did transgressions against, but some entity is going to punish me.
Right.
When in reality, the person here, the home I've invaded, is going to punish me. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the father...
That's the will of that being that's being enacted through that person. Right.
So technically speaking, so they can sum it up, they can switch it up. But in reality, none of those religions unify us.
So to the point though, when you said that the enemies of our race fear our uprising more than they fear their own God.
Right.
You know, when I talk to people about religion and things and the origins of religion and the origins of religious thought, and dealing with the UNIA-ACL, our national anthem, like I told you before, is Ethiopia, land of our fathers.
Right.
The next line is the land where the gods loved to be. Now, it says gods with an S. What do they mean? It's referring to the first academic writing coming out of Greece, the Iliad and Odyssey, where Herodotus writes about Zeus. Is it Zeus? I believe it's no. Poseidon, I believe. Poseidon dining with the godly men of Ethiopia. And there's several other references, basically calling Ethiopians the gods, or at least a people that the gods actually just, convene with on a regular basis.
Right.
We know that the Greeks also worshipped Imhotep as a god, when we know Imhotep to be a person that actually walked the earth. So when you make that statement that they fear us more than they fear their own God. When you understand at a point that they really sort of understand the origins of their own thing, and they sort of have a God image and God view of us anyways, which plays out in the Trayvon Martin case when they started talking about the fact that white folks had this Superman complex when it deals with us.
Right.
They did the study where they showed white people and black people getting stabbed and hurt and cut and punched and things. And it always came back that everybody, black people too, felt like black people dealt with pain better.
Right.
They call it a Superman complex. So they also, this is ingrained in them.
Right.
And so now this is part of the reason why we get mistreated and misdiagnosed in hospitals. All right, so all of this shit, all of it, comes around to, like I told you earlier before we were speaking, before this video began. The solution to all of our problems as a people is for us to come together as a people.
Right.
Literally everything else can come second.
That's a fact.
That's what we mean when we say race first.
You know what? And that is a fact, because I could come to the table as long as in this world society plays it as long as I don't know where you're from or who you down with, I can enjoy your company.
Mm-hmm.
Until I know who you're down with.
Mm-hmm.
And that right there got to stop, because we do have this as a people, we do have this complex where we want to be so good that we even want to be better than the brother and our sister that's next to us, when we all should be sitting at the same table.
Right.
Like, I believe that, like, I held an event the other day, which I'm gonna be honest, it didn't pan out the way I thought it would, but the responses I got from my own people was more hateful than the responses I got when I decided to take my business into the white neighborhood. And people will say, we gotta do black everything. And unity is the best thing that could bring us out of that, turmoil of decision making when it comes to we will rather choose someone over our brothers and sisters, as far as business and economic issues or even housing. But the complex that we have on top of that is, once we do the services, or we require or ask to produce our services to people who may not know us, but they look like us, they'll first want us to jump through a hoop before they decide to do business with us.
Yes.
And that right there is an issue that I know unity would fix, but I believe that we have to have regular, sit meetings with each other as community leaders and people that actually give a damn. We should be having these meetings, because what do meetings do when you talk about stuff that's on your chest? It comes out.
Yeah.
We get it out of there, and we move on. And we can build on top of things that we see our transgressions again. Like, I would like to be the type of person that people can come to and say, yeah, I want my photos done. Yeah, also, we need these streets and roads done. We need these houses fixed up. We need these landlords brought to court because they slumlords. We need these racists to be held accountable for their problems. We need these police to be held accountable. I want people to be able to do that, but I have to build people and put people in my corner and be able to trust them and give them that opportunity to be themselves, versus trying to be better than them, like trying to be the leader.
Exactly.
So, and I say that because when I'm taking photos in my neighborhood to people who, I know are having hard times in economics, right? Everybody is, but we are like getting punched in the gut. And it's like, I understand that, but it don't make sense to say, hey, I'm gonna give you a cheaper price, let me look out for you, just support my business, and then you say no, and then go to somebody else who charges you more and doesn't even give you the quality or the amount of photos that you would get if you dealt with me. But I understood that. I'm not a hater. I'd be like, everybody pick and choose. I got to get people to know me. But how can I get people to know me when a lot of those people who turned me down was people who do know me? Right. So that's discouraging. That's like saying, okay, are they playing with my emotions, or are they thinking I'm not serious about my business, or is this a black support? But I'm gonna say black support, but I'm not gonna do black support.
Allow me to respond to that. Okay. I believe that some of the answer that you seek in that lies with Dr. Joy DeGroy's work, post-traumatic slave syndrome, where the reality of the situation is our people are sick. We have a trust issue with each other, and it was ingrained, like you said earlier. A lot of the things that we've been taught, we taught us, right? And so, you know what I mean? We taught ourselves certain survival techniques to survive certain times like slavery and Jim Crow. But those things now are obsolete, but are still in our psyche, right? So the lack of trust amongst each other, the lack of belief in our own selves, these are the things that we have to re-examine, you know, because once we find a behavior that's detrimental to us as a people, I believe it was Malcolm X, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, that said, you know, when there's a cancer in the body, you don't put a Band-Aid on it, you cut it out. And so when we realize that certain behaviors that we and practices that we picked up from, especially those times, slavery, Jim Crow, etc., you know, we got to leave those things behind. So the lack of trust in each other because master going to pick one of us better than the other one, you know what I'm saying? The lack of trust in each other because the house slave gets treated better than the field slave, and you want to get your chance. You know what I mean? You don't want to try and do anything rebellious or run away for freedom because you know such and such is going to tell. So you got to keep a secret, and everything got to be hush hush. You know, these things are practices that come from these times of our oppression, and it's continuing the practice of a mental oppression. And so, you know, we just have to just figure out a way. Like I said before, man, if we can find a way to be ununified, it's our fault. You know, we have to look past all of those things. And it comes, you know, one last thing, and I'll end with this.
Right.
We have to believe that we can be successful as a people.
Okay.
A lot of times, our leadership, our plans, our goals are focused on someone else giving something to us. And our goals need to be us building for ourselves.
And that's a fact. And I'm not gonna lie, we outside, so of course we hear all the beats and stuff that's going on, but we wanted to be like this because, you know, we are actually being true to our word, and we actually live in the neighborhood that we talk about. So with that being said, this is my great friend and brother, and I really hope that y'all check him out. You know, we're gonna be having some events, man, so I'm gonna be putting it on my channel. So I hope you guys, you know, show some support, show some love. Make sure you check me out, like and subscribe on my channel. Make sure you check me out for the photos too, guys. I'm out here. I do home photo shoots and everything, so just check me out, give me a try. And I love y'all. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace.